Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining our Career Connections webinar. My name is Brent Giangregorio and I'll be your host today. Today we're very excited to partner with the Mom Project and specifically talk about their RISE Scholarship Program. Before we get started though, just a few housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel within 48 hours. As well, we'll send a link to the recording along with the presentation to everyone who registered for today's session. So we'll send that via email within 48 hours. Because this is a webinar format, all of your lines are automatically muted, but you can ask questions using the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. As we move through the presentation, feel free to type your questions in that Q&A box, and we'll leave time at the end to answer those questions. Okay, so our speaker for today is Chandra Sanders, Vice President of RISE at the Mom Project. After we hear from Chandra, we'll go ahead and move to our Q&A, as I mentioned. After the Q&A, if everyone could stay on for 1 extra minute for a survey that's going to pop up on your screen, we would really appreciate it. Your feedback is really important as we use these surveys to help us with future webinars and programming. Before I turn it over to Chandra, I just want to take a few minutes and tell you about the Women's Resource Center. The Women's Resource Center has been empowering women in Sarasota and Manatee County since 1979. We currently have 3 centers across both counties, one in Bradenton, one in Sarasota, and another in Venice. We serve over 1,700 clients a year and deliver over 5,000 hours of programming. Our goal at the Women's Resource Center is to engage, educate, enrich, and empower women of all generations. And we really like to think of ourselves as a place where women can call when they're not sure to where to turn to for help. To do that, we offer our clients resource advising, mental health counseling, career services, educational workshops and programs, scholarships. We have legal and financial consultation and education programs as well. And all of this is offered at a low or no cost to our clients. Since this webinar is about careers, I'll talk a little bit more about our career services. Our career coaching program offers individual assistance in preparing for a successful job search. So really that can include career discovery, resume preparation, interviewing skills, networking techniques, much more. So really anybody that is looking for a job, interested in changing careers, needs any sort of career help would be a great fit for our career coaching program. We have career centers to conduct online job searches, work on applications, submissions, and update resumes. We also offer computer tutoring one-on-one, so you can get help navigating online job sites, help uploading resumes, and also help with computer basics and Microsoft Office applications. As well, we have 2 career closets, one in Bradenton and one in Sarasota, where we have free clothing and accessories for women who are attending job interviews or have just secured a job and need work attire. We also serve clients that may need clothing for whatever reason. And currently our career closets are open Monday through Thursday from 11 to 3. Okay, so just again, if you'd like to ask a question, click on the box labeled Q&A at the bottom of your screen. You can type your question in and we'll get to your questions at the end of the webinar. And then as a reminder, the Career Connections webinar today is being recorded, so you can watch the replay in case you missed any information. We'll send that out within 48 hours to everyone who registered. We'll include flyers, presentations, and any other materials from the presentation today. And lastly, we want to hear from you. So as I mentioned, as the webinar ends, you'll see a survey on your screen. We ask that you please complete the survey so we can understand how we can improve. Thank you so much for attending today and have a great day. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chandra.
Thank you, Brent. Hello, everyone. I am Chandra Sanders. I am the Vice President of RISE at the Mom Project. Before we get into the presentation today and before we start talking about all things RISE, I just want to introduce myself, right? So I am a mom of three, and at this point, a divorced mom of three. So I'm a single mom at this point. But I am someone who has strategically pivoted multiple times. I started my career a long time ago as a high school Spanish teacher, but really needed to find access to more economic opportunities, to take care of my family. And so I was able to, pivot into product development and into other like high tech areas of work. And so I have a lot of experience in pivoting, and I wholeheartely believe that when given the access to resources, when given access to skills, when given access to opportunities, that all of us can have these and can have these opportunities and really take advantage of them and really change the trajectory of your life, your career, your kids' lives, their careers, and so on. So now let me jump into the presentation. All right, so RISE is a transformative, purpose-built upskilling scholarship program, right? As we know, like we move forward when we move together, and the pandemic had a disproportionate impact on mothers and even more so on women of color. And so we launched RISE, the not-for-profit arm of the Mom Project, at the end of 2020 to really give moms and women of color the opportunity to, number one, work in flexible roles, but also get access to digital skills to prepare them for the workplace of the future. And also just the community. Our moms, our women have gone through so much since the pandemic started, and it's really not letting up, right? And so we are here to support women. We're here to support moms. We're here to support our advocates, our allies, and all of those people who actually need the support, especially now more than ever, right? So next, like, why did we have to do this, right? Of course, the pandemic didn't start the underrepresentation of women, moms, and women of color in certain emergent industries, right? And so we created this program to, number one, provide access into these emergent industries, right? Like moms and women of color have been left out because these roles have, number one, may not have been flexible, just didn't provide those opportunities. And so we are here to provide that access. But also for representation, right? There are a few women in the workplace right now in these areas in which we are really upskilling a nice curated pipeline of highly qualified talent to fill these roles, which ultimately lead to leadership roles, right? So we're here to really, fulfill that representation gap that has been a factor for so long. But also it's the achievement, right? It is a place for our moms, our women, our community to really feel that support, to know that they're not alone in this journey. Because again, like our moms, our women of color, our advocates, like we're always, cheering on everyone else and putting all of our kids' responsibilities and after school activities ahead of our own, right? And so this is really just a place for us to come together, build bonds, and cheer each other on so that we can continue to, number one, have that access, but also, the representation. So like I said, RISE is a purpose-built upskilling program for mothers, for women of color, right? For underrepresented women. When we say it's purpose-built, it is because it is done at your pace, right? Self-paced. It can be done in 10 to 15 hours a week, but also it can be done in 6 months or less, right? We know that we don't have like a year to spend upskilling, learning a new skill, right? And so it is purpose built for our community to be able to succeed no matter the multitude of other commitments that you may have, right? And so it is the most successful upskilling program for our community, right? And so we want to make sure that we are, providing our community with digital skills that don't just, put you in position to advance today, but will keep you competitive in years to come. Right. And so we are constantly looking for and analyzing different skills that are trending to ensure that you have everything that you need to really propel yourself to the next step and beyond. Right. And so with that, we have currently our curriculum, we have a digital marketing and e-commerce certificate. We have a Google IT support certificate, Google automation with Python certificate, project management certificate as well, which is actually our most popular because, moms, women in general, at this point, manage projects on a daily basis that we can always tap into. So this is something that honestly comes very natural to our community. So that's why it is our most popular. But also data analytics, right? Like all companies right now need to analyze data and be able to assess where we are and, forecast for the future. So this is a really in-demand area, not just for today, but of course for years to come, especially with the new emergence, and I have to say emergence, but AI has been around for a bit, but just analyzing, is extremely important, right? UX design is also important, right? That's user experience, right? This can be done across industries, but also a very in-demand skill that our community can get access to and be successful in 6 months or less. Salesforce administration is another amazing yet impactful certification. That one is actually done in 6 weeks or less, right? And so it is very fast paced. It is probably our most challenging certification. But again, we have something for everyone. Also our IBM customer success, right? This is extremely important because customer success, the customer experience is very important to your company's longevity, to your company's brand, and all of those things. So many companies now are really, digging into the customer success experience to, number one, bring in more clients, bring in more customers, but also they don't want to lose the customers and clients that they actually already have. Right. And so now more companies are seeing the value in customer success. So that is one of the latest certificates that we launched. But when I say that our upskilling program is the most successful one, it is not just because of the certificates that we offer, because honestly, you could get these certificates anywhere. Almost, right? But what you can't get anywhere is the RISE Advantage. And this is the framework that we have put in place specifically for our community of moms, of women of color, of allies who really have other things going on in their life and can't dedicate 8 hours a day to upskilling, right? And so with our framework, right, it all starts with community, right? We have a RISE Accelerator platform. It is our proprietary technology. It is a space for our community to come together, to build bonds, to talk each other through any challenges they may be facing either at home, in their personal life, or in their career, or while they're upskilling, right? But it's just a place, it's a safe space for our community to come and bond with each other. It's almost like a LinkedIn, but it's our RISE Accelerator platform. The personalized career path, right? We have actual phone conversations, enrollment calls with everyone who applies to our program, because we want to make sure that you are aligned in the certification that, number one, aligns with your past, but also aligns with the future vision that you have for yourself, right? So we don't want to just, put you enroll you in a certification in which you may not fit. So we actually have personalized enrollment calls with everyone to really give you the best advice in choosing the best path forward. So what also sets us apart is our holistic upskilling approach, right? Again, our community has been through so much in the last couple of years, and even before that, right? Some of our program members have lost their jobs, are having trouble getting back into the workforce, have been laid off multiple times in the last couple of years, have had deaths of their husbands, of even their children, right? While they are upskilling, right? And so if we don't take care of our community's well-being, their inside internal communication with themselves, their confidence, helping them cultivate a growth mindset. If we don't take care of the whole person, then the certificate will not matter, because you will not be able to, number one, focus, get ready to tell your story in a job interview, have the confidence to be able to sell yourself, especially with the competitive market that's happening right now. So we do meditation, we do community connection calls. We're really here to help transform the whole person so that you truly emerge out of this certificate program as a more authentic version, a more powerful version of yourself. But then after all that, we have the certification. You have your upskilling, right? It is 6 weeks to 6 months, depending on the certification of your choice that you choose. And then after the graduation and certification, then we help elevate you and connect you to partners, put you in front of partners to really get you that support and just higher visibility for job placement. So what separates us from the other upskilling programs is the support, right? We know that our moms, our community have a lot going on. And so we support you throughout your journey. If you're falling behind, right? Like, we're able to know that within a week or two so that we can either, have a conversation, decide if you need to take a little break before, or provide you some extra, support or mentorship as you are upskilling. And so we support you on a weekly basis through the journey so that you don't feel alone, because it can get lonely sometimes, especially if you have kids at home, especially if you're up working, let's say at midnight doing your upskilling, right? It can be a little bit daunting. And so we do support our grads throughout the entire process on a weekly basis, just to see if there's anything that we can do to help uplift you or support you even more during your journey. So here's just like a snapshot of where we are as a program, right? We know we conducted a RISE graduate survey at the end of last year, all right? And we noticed and were able to conclude that 46% of our applicants come to RISE because they need to re-enter the paid workforce. 59% come to advance their career, right? Like, we have many who've gotten just a promotion. They just needed the certificate to get a promotion, right? But then we also have 70% who are coming to us to pivot. And pivoting is extremely powerful, especially today, where many stories that I hear from our community is that they've been in marketing for, like, let's say 20 years, and that's the only thing that they know. And they're having challenges finding another marketing role, especially with the job market being not as favorable today, right? And so pivoting is extremely important, and being able to pivot is extremely important. And what is really great about this is that our women are pivoting, right? We're giving them the tools that they need to re-enter the paid workforce. We're giving them the tools that they need to advance and get their promotions, and we're also giving them the tools that they need to be able to pivot, right? And so also, from our grad survey, 49% of those grads were in the paid workforce at the time of their application. But then in less than 6 months, 74% of them were in the paid workforce, right? And so that means our community members are getting back to work. And this was done at the end of last year. And the job market, again, I have to say it again, like, it hasn't been favorable for a lot of people, but it has been favorable for our RISE grads who are coming here, getting the community, the support, the skills, and the resume prep, those one-on-one phone calls, the interview preparation, the confidence building, everything that they need to, number one, be competitive and get that job and get back into the paid workforce. I don't know if I said this, but I think I did. But again, we launched this program at the end of 2020. So it hasn't been 3 years yet. It's really been almost 2.5. And in 2.5 years, we have awarded over 7,000 scholarships. We're almost at 8,000, right? And so the impact that we are having has been tremendous in a very short period of time, but it could not have come at a better time. We do have representation in over 1,400 cities in every state, and we have reached over 10 million people through press, media, and all of those mechanisms. So here's just a little bit about our community platform and really what sets us apart. Our community is based on community, it's based on authenticity, it's based on connection. We want our community members to feel safe. We want our community members to feel like they can be their most authentic self, so that they can learn and actually connect with other community members, right? And so this is, again, our proprietary technology that we have developed. But as you can see, it's just a snapshot of what our community platform looks like. But along with that, we also have mentorship, right? And the mentorship matches are done via an AI mentorship match program that we have developed. But also we do mentorship with many of our partners, right? Like Google is a major partner, Apple is a major partner, and they are here to really help guide our members along their journey, provide job opportunities for them after they've completed their program, and mentor them on the way. All right. But again, this is the mentorship aspect of our community platform. Just like I mentioned, Google is a major sponsor of ours. Apple is a major sponsor, IBM. All of these logos that you see on this screen are the reason why we're able to do what we do. It's because they believe in the program. They believe in providing economic opportunities to those who need it most. And they are here willing to commit dollars, willing to commit resources and job opportunities to our community. And so we are very thankful for them, and we're always looking for more. But just know we're not in this thing alone. If you guys want to apply to come to Rise and, you know, be a part of this program, we welcome you. And we have partners who also will help guide you along your journey as well. Just a couple of stories from some Rise grads, right? You can see Kristen, who is a UX designer, and you guys are going to get this deck after this call in 24 hours or 48 hours, I believe. But as you can see, we have a couple of Rise grad stories from UX design, a grad, a project management grad, or 2 project management grads. And then we also have some stories of those who've been hired after they've completed their program, and just how transformative our program has been in their lives in just a very short time. Again, like I said, we've reached over 10 million folks, and we've been able to do that through the media. But I must also say that we have won, we were awarded a Fast Company World-Changing Idea Award in 2022, and we just received the HR Transform Social Impact Award of the Social Impact Initiative of the Year Award from Transform HR, which is a really amazing, transformative and innovative HR people ops conference, in which there's representation from many Fortune 500 companies who are all looking to create pathways for non-traditional talent, underrepresented talent. And so again, we're on the right track, and we would love to have you guys join Rise. And so at this time, I will take any questions. And I don't think I mentioned how to find out more information about Rise, right? All you have to do is go to momproject.org. You can see that at the bottom of the screen, momproject.org. You can read all the information about MomProject.org and Rise, the different certifications. It has details on the certification tracks, the jobs, and some more success stories. Also, our impact report for 2022 is coming out on this Friday, and we're very excited to share the impact that we had in 2022. And we would love, again, for you to be a part of that impact for 2023.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chandra. That was a fantastic presentation. Again, everyone, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. Chandra, I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about What is sort of the process? So from someone who may be interested in Rise to an application, what does that process look like?
Yes, of course. So if you go to momproject.org, there is an application, right? And we're just asking you a couple of questions. You'll see the eligibility requirements, which is honestly an 18 years old, able to work, either a US citizen or able to work in the United States, right? And access, and can you dedicate 10 to 15 hours a week to this, right? Like, we're here for everyone, so we don't want to be too restrictive. However, we do have an application process, and part of that application process is for you to really um, showcase your attitude and your aptitude for wanting this scholarship and this opportunity, right? Like, what is this going to do for you? We want to hear and feel a well thought out vision that you have for yourself and purpose that you have for yourself and for your future through the application. And once we receive your application, you will be followed up with for more additional information, and also the enrollment call within probably 2 weeks after that. And then we will get you enrolled into a cohort after that. So it's a super simple process. It is, but the hardest part is really figuring out why you want to do this, being sure that you want to do this, and just really having a vision for which certification you want and how it aligns with your past and how it aligns with the vision that you have for your future.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chandra. Okay, so a few questions here. We've got two questions that are related to eligibility, which you kind of just talked on. But the first being is, does the program have an age limit? And the second, are there income requirements?
Okay, no age limit. And I can say that we have, because in our community that you saw, we have different subgroups, and we do have one for like our silver stars, right? Like, we have a group of 50 plus women. We also have a group for 60 plus women who are still wanting to work and still wanting to learn and get access to these digital skills. And why not? So no, you just have to be 18 years old to start, but there's no cap on the age limit. Also, we're not asking about income requirements, because this is not about an income. This is just about providing opportunities for underrepresented folks. So we're not asking for your income. That's not where our concern lies. We're just here to provide some access and opportunity to really fill in that representation gap within these emerging industries.
Fantastic. Another question here. So, what are some of the unique barriers for moms, and what does Rise and the Mom Project do to help?
Yeah, caregivers, right? It's not even just about moms at this point, it's caregivers, right? Like, we have our own unique set of challenges when it comes to working. We need flexibility,
Mhm.
especially, like, I'm a single mom and I have 3 kids. And I haven't worked in an office since 2017, since I had my last one, right? And there's no way I can go back into an office, right? Like, I should not have to, and a caregiver should not have to sacrifice their career because they have to, care for someone, right? And it shouldn't work the other way around. So we are on the front lines with our companies, trying to get them to rethink qualified, rethink hiring, reimagine reimagine qualified, right? But also provide pathways. Like, for example, we got returnships for folks who have been out of the workforce for like many, many, many years, right? So we are doing what we can to really help our companies provide pathways for our women, which definitely includes flexibility, part-time work, contingent contract work, all of the above.
Fantastic. Um, what program would you say has the highest salary?
This is a good one. It also depends on where
Mm,
you're working. And I can just kind of give you just a teaser. We are launching a new certification track May 1. I can't say what it is, but just know May 1st is coming. We will announce it. And it is a very it packs a lot of power in it packs a lot of economic opportunity and power. All right. But I would also have to say UX design, data analytics, and Salesforce administration. I do have one story to tell, a community member who went from She had been out of the workforce caregiving for a while, came and did her data analytics certification. And we were able to provide her with a contract opportunity. And she turned that contract opportunity into a full-time job and went from literally not in the workforce making zero to 100K in less than a year. So it depends on your certification track, but it also depends on you and what you do once you get that opportunity, right? But I would say all of them really put you on a pathway to that six-figure space. That's what we're aiming for.
Fantastic. Can you speak a little bit about transferable skills to know based on our work experience if we're pivoting from one of these jobs, what maybe transferable skills are suitable and, what makes a good applicant for Rise?
Yeah, transferable skills is really just kind of dependent upon you and what you've done, right? So let's say you've been a caregiver and you haven't worked in an official workplace for a while, but you've probably been working even harder at home. But I like to say that moms and caregivers are the entire C-suite of their entire family, right? So we're the CEOs, we're the CFOs, we're managing all the finances, we are the COOs, we're managing the operation, we're doing everything, right? All of the things that we do at home in our daily lives, even conflict resolution with the kids, right? All of these things can be transferred and translated from one thing to the next, right? I'll use mine as an example. I've pivoted multiple times, started as a high school Spanish teacher, and then pivoted to, I did Spanish teaching for a while, then pivoted to working at university for a couple of years. But then I got a job at a startup as a professional education manager, right? No, it wasn't in the classroom, but there was an education component in there in which I was able to, pull from some things that I've done in the classroom, pull from some things that I've learned through working at a university, and then pivoted again to, high tech and product development, right? And so I was just able to kind of pull what I've done in my personal life, along with every job that I've ever had, every experience that I've ever had, to really figure out what those transferable skills are. And that's also something that we provide. We do provide that one-on-one support to help you think through your transferable skills and the best way to tell your story, your elevator pitch based on you, right? And so we do provide and have those one-on-one conversations with our community members to really help them dig into themselves, their past, their skills, and help them tell the story through their resume.
Fantastic. Can you do this while working?
Of course you can. Yes, you can do this while working. Again, it takes 6 months to complete if you are dedicating 10 hours to 15 hours a week. And you could do that on the weekends, you can do that an hour a day, however you need to manage that time. But we have created this program for that purpose, so that you can have other commitments and responsibilities, but not have that hold you back from actually progressing and learning and getting access to new skills.
Fantastic. Is the scholarship program just for moms and women of color?
Nope, it is not. We are inclusive, right? We have dads in our program. We have everyone in our program. But it is kind of centered around like that need of the mom and the woman of color who have been, historically underrepresented in many areas and who really most often don't have the support that they need or the network that they need to really get to that next place. But we are here for everyone. We literally have a representation of everyone in our community, and in our little community platform, you'll have a subgroup for whatever you're looking for.
Fantastic. Is this totally online?
Everything is online. However, we have started a Rise in Real Life experience. And so we just had our first one in Chicago at our headquarters. And it was nice. Like, we brought our community together. Like, again, it's based on community, authenticity, and connection. We were able to connect authentically, provide experiences, put our community in front of partners and put them in front of each other, put them in front of hiring managers, right? And so we do have our in real life experience, and we are doing pop-ups through the rest of the year. So yeah, other than that, everything else is online.
Fantastic. I think the next question was, are the programs done on Zoom?
So the upskilling part, your certification part, is Coursera. More than likely it'll be Coursera, or it'll be an IBM one, or it'll be a Salesforce one, right? There's no Zoom synchronous video component of that, right? Our Zoom and synchronous component comes with our community connection calls, in which we come together as a community every month, talk. Sometimes there are tears, bonding. We do have meditation that's via Zoom, and we do have different activities and things like that that are community, engagement activities via Zoom. But your upskilling is online through a platform.
Fantastic. Another question here. Should we wait to apply if we want to hear about the May 1st program?
No, I would not wait to apply, because I can say that we have maybe 13,000. We've had 13,000 applicants. And so the earlier you can get in, we'll probably be calling you around May 1. So yeah. It's perfect time, but then you can also let your enrollment coordinator know that you want to wait until May 1 if you do get that call. Yeah.
Fantastic. Another question here. One of our viewers is currently in purchasing. They love the work, but they need to make more money to provide for their family. The question is, what programs do you think would best translate for this career?
Purchasing, I would, data analytics is a great one, I would have to say, but also project management. Yeah. So I would say either one of those would give you exactly what you need, along with the additional programming and support that we offer to really ensure that you feel comfortable in that space. But either one of those be beneficial.
Fantastic. How broad are the opportunities, how broad are the options for career opportunities for certifications?
Mm-hmm. So I can say it just depends, right? It depends on, let's say if you get a project management certificate. We have gotten hired HR project managers. There's project management in everything, right? We even have healthcare project managers, project coordinators, project administrators. It just depends on what's available, but just know that the certifications that we offer are evidenced by the type of jobs that we've been able to get our community members, but also the jobs in which our partners are actively hiring for.
Great question. Are the certificates industry known?
Yes, they are. And because we know that our community has been traditionally underrepresented, credibility is something huge for us. And so we don't just offer any certificate. Our certificates are backed by Google, which is a powerhouse, IBM, another powerhouse, and Salesforce.
Fantastic. Is there a fee for the application or fees for the program?
The entire program is at no cost to our participants. Our sponsors and other, philanthropists who believe in our organization, our mission, and our impact are funding us. But for our community members, it is nothing. There's no cost ever.
That's fantastic. Another question here. Can the certifications take us straight to a career without prior experience in that area?
We have success stories of that happening, right? But again, it takes, number one, yes, it can happen. Number two, it takes really knowing yourself, having that confidence that you can pivot to something brand new, but also working with us to ensure that your resume speaks to where you're trying to go, and that you can tell that story without a shadow of a doubt, right? To really convince that hiring manager to give you a chance. Because honestly, that's one of the one of our, something that we're working on, right? Like we're helping our partners rethink what qualified is. And qualified does not mean 10 years in one thing, right? Qualified is attitude, aptitude. I have a skill. Can I get it done? How do I show up? I can learn it on the job, right? And so you just have to be able to sell yourself and convince and influence that hiring manager to give you a chance.
Yeah.
And we'll help you with that.
Yeah, fantastic. Do all participants have a mentor during the program that they can reach out to?
The participants, while you're in the program, you will have your community and you have the RISE team, right?
Okay.
After or upon graduation, upon certification, you will then be matched with a mentor. So that part doesn't come until you're either at the end or almost at the end. And again, we don't want to put too much because we know, again, we have community has a multitude of commitments, right? We don't want to put too much on you while you are upskilling. And so that's where we want your focus to be. Of course, we're going to give you access to, the resume templates and the resume help, I think 2 weeks into your program so that you can at least have that kind of taken care of. But the mentorship piece unlocks as you approach graduation.
Beautiful. Are there any application deadlines or is it sort of rolling admissions?
It is rolling. We have cohorts that start every month.
Fantastic.
No deadline.
Is it all Google or what other courses are needed? Like math, writing, other sort of skills.
So certifications, we have a mix of Google, IBM, and Salesforce, right? Those are our main sort of certifying bodies because they, have that credibility. But we are going to be launching some more soft skill training for like mindfulness, customer service, or, those things as well. I wouldn't say math too much, writing too much, unless you want that. And communication, we will be doing some of those more soft skills to really give you that more holistic approach to upskilling. But that'll be coming in about a month or so.
Great. Chandra, someone's on the website now and they're looking for information about the different programs before completing the application.
I can share my screen. Let me just
get fantastic.
Let me open a screen. All right, you should be able to see my screen now.
Yes.
But here we are. If you want to apply, get ready to rise. You can see all of the information here. If you're interested in applying, you click there. And here you can see the different certifications that we have and what you learn in each.
Beautiful.
Before you decide to apply and go for it.
Yeah.
We also have, FAQs because we have a lot of folks who are asking kind of like the same questions. So you can go here. If you have any other questions, like just email us at rise@themomproject.com. We're here to help you and give you whatever you need so that you can be successful. But yes, we have all of our contact information here, all the information about the different courses that we have. And let me just kind of go through the application real quick since it's open.
Yeah.
And you'll see our eligibility requirements. Like I said, not restrictive at all, just 18 years or older, 10 to 15 hours a week, US citizen or eligible to work, access to a computer or a laptop. And if you don't have that access, we will, the computer or the laptop, we may be able to help in that area. But then also self-reporting so that we can support you. But here is the application, right? Like we just want your name, your email address, contact phone number. We want to know where you are, which program that you are applying to, and why you're interested. Why are you interested in upskilling or changing your career? Also in 250 words or less, like what do you plan to do after you complete? We want to hear your thought. Like we want to make sure that you've thought this through. And if you haven't thought it through yet, take some time to think it through. And if you want to talk to us before you even apply, like we're here for that. Just send us an email at rise@themomproject.com and we can answer any questions you may have before you even apply. We also want to know about your professional experience and how it could or would apply. Your superpower. We all have superpowers, right? And so we want to know what your superpower is. Employment status, all of these things as well. How many years of experience you have, if any, which is fine. Yeah, and then you're certifying that you can spend 10 hours, you have a laptop or a desktop, and that you're a US citizen. That's pretty much it. Super simple. Yeah.
That's great. With tech layoffs, does this affect Rise graduates, or have you seen it affect Rise graduates?
I have heard of one, right?
Wow.
I've heard of one grad who was laid off, but she quickly found another role, right? And we're here to help you get back in, right? So she came to us and let us know what was happening, and we were able to find her another space. Also, the grad survey that we did at the end of last year, our grads are still getting out there and they're getting jobs, right? And then we're putting them in position. We're giving them the best resume so that if they do get laid off, they're able to bounce back really quickly from that.
Fantastic. Is the program disability friendly?
Yes, so we do have the ADA requirements. So depending on what the disability is, there should be an accommodation.
Fantastic. And the website again, is it themomproject.com or .org?
It is momproject.org.
Momproject.org.
Yes.
Fantastic. If someone starts a program and it doesn't seem to be the right path, are they able to change programs or paths?
Yeah, I believe you have 5 days.
Okay.
To decide that this isn't right for you and we'll put you in another cohort. But I think it's 5 days. But I know you do have a period of time in which you can make the switch.
Right. Okay. And then are the certifications valid for forever, a certain amount of time? Do they need to be renewed? Does it depend on the specific certification?
So they are valid for a lifetime, right? They are valid for a lifetime. There are, for example, our Google certificate with data analytics. They have recently launched some more advanced certifications for data analytics. And so let's say you certified in the first and you really want to take it a step further, like you can continue to grow in each one of these areas, but your certification is yours forever.
Fantastic. Is the program privacy protected?
Yes, it has to be privacy protected. All of your data is protected and secured on both Mom Project site, but also through Google, through IBM. We all have to follow those different safety, privacy, and security standards.
Fantastic. If someone's not a US citizen, can they still apply?
You can still apply. We just want to know if you're eligible or not, but we are not. We don't have the ability to check paperwork or anything like that. We are just, trusting that you guys would answer that question. Either you are a citizen or eligible, that you're able to answer that honestly.
Yep. Do you know, is there a limit to the amount of individuals per cohort?
We do have a limit. So right now we're at about 200 to 300 a month.
Wow.
Currently.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any resources like a questionnaire to finding a path or sort of career counseling? I know you mentioned someone calls after the application. Is that part of that process?
It is part of that process. But if you want to talk before you apply, like send us an email, rise@themomproject.com. I've got team members on deck to support.
Fantastic. Someone's asking, can they go through the program more than once?
So we allow one certification at no cost. right?
Okay.
With our partnership with Career Circle, we're able to offer a second certification at like literally $99, which is great. And we've had many, many, many community members opt into that additional certification and get like the second Salesforce certification, even go back and get the third one because they just love it so much. But you're able to get that at an amazing discounted rate after your first one.
Fantastic. Could someone complete this if they're, they're a US citizen, but they live abroad?
If you're a US citizen or
Yeah.
eligible to work.
Yeah. Fantastic. Is there any guaranteed job placement after graduation?
We have guaranteed like career support, right? We can't guarantee the job placement because honestly, like we don't know what's going to happen in an interview. We don't know all of the things, but we are here to give you the resources, put you in front of hiring managers, connect you to our partners with Google and our partnership with Google. Like they also have a consortium of over 180 different partners who are also multiple Fortune 500 companies who they bring to us and provide us with special job opportunities for our grads only. So the opportunities are there, right? But we just want to make sure that we are arming you with everything that you need to take full advantage of all the opportunities that are going to come your way.
Fantastic. What would you say to job interviews or people who don't seem to understand the challenges people face to employment?
What would I say to the folks? Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I'm trying to read in between the lines here of the question too. What would you say to people maybe in a job interview that don't seem to understand the challenges people face to employment?
It is a challenge, right? And this challenge has been it's like a systemic challenge, right? It's systemic and it doesn't happen overnight. However, we are disruptors and we are breaking barriers and we are here to, number one, help you know that like it's going to be okay and to have faith in yourself, at least that you will be connected to that opportunity that is yours. But we are working with companies who are committed and they show that commitment through hiring. They show that commitment through statements that they've made, right? And so when we don't connect with companies who aren't willing to rethink hiring and aren't willing to provide pathways which are alternative pathways for caregivers who may have some other things going on in their life. So we make it a point to connect with those companies who believe in our reason for doing what we do.
Fantastic. And just a reminder to everyone on the call, the lines are muted. If you do have your hand raised, please go ahead and use the Q&A box to ask your question. Back to sort of multiple certifications. So are all future certifications $99 or is it just the second one? Is there a limit, like to the limit?
I don't think that there's a limit to the limit. However, I would confirm that with your enrollment during your enrollment call with Career Circle, who is our learning partner.
Yeah, fantastic. And I believe we've already kind of talked about this, but how long is the course? And I believe it is self-paced, so it can be 6 months or less. Is that correct?
100%. It can be 6 months or less, but I know that we have some community members who are working and who have commitments, but we also have those other community members who've been laid off and don't have 6 months to waste, right? Or not waste, but don't have 6 months to wait. Yeah. So we have had some graduates who've been in that position, who've been laid off and have completed a 6-month course in 6 weeks because they were so determined. Wow. To get the most out of this while they can so they can, get back out there and get the job that they need. So it depends on you.
Yeah, perfect. Individual. Fantastic. Well, that brings us to the end of our questions. With that being said, I really want to thank you, Chandra, for joining us today just to talk about the Mom Project, the RISE Scholarship Program, Super impactful, great information. I want to thank all of the attendees today for joining and tuning in, for your questions. It was very engaging and interactive, and we always love that. And then just as a reminder, if everyone will stay on 1 extra minute as soon as I end and answer our very, very brief survey, we would greatly appreciate it. So with that said, thank you all again. I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Bye.